If you or a loved one suffer from a speech or hearing disorder, there's a local organization that specializes in the support you need. Joining us today in the studio is Barry and Tammy from Albuquerque Speech, Language, and Hearing Center. Good morning. How are you both?
Good morning.
Doing terrific.
Thanks for being with us today. So at the Speech, Language, Hearing Center, tell us what you do there.
Well, we're a nonprofit agency. We've been here since 1953. We treat people who have speech, language, swallow disorders. We also treat people who have hearing loss, and that could be sudden or long-term hearing loss.
And I understand you've been here for quite a while. Give us a little bit of history and background.
Actually, the center started back, like I said, in 1953. We started out as a school for the deaf, and then it evolved into a full treatment center where we now have 3 audiologists and 5 SLPs on staff.
That's great. So you've expanded quite a bit.
Oh, yes.
So speaking of expansion, how did you come about doing that financial? What was your financial infrastructure?
Well, we're a nonprofit agency, but we run as a social enterprise, and a lot of people don't know exactly what that term means. But what it is that we are mostly run by the services that we provide. So when a person comes in and seeks services, and whether it's paid for by your insurance or privately, we take that money and put it back into a pool to provide services for people who can't afford to have services.
So as far as services go, Barry, you can testify to the kinds of services they have there. Not only are you on the board, but you're also a client there. Tell us about your experience.
Well, when someone is hard of hearing, what you do is you wind up withdrawing. And anybody who has family members who suffer from this problem will find that, because you get tired of hearing yourself say, "What? Huh?"
Right.
So you just sort of say, "Oh yeah." And it doesn't matter, you didn't hear what they said.
Yeah.
Getting hearing aids is like having glasses to correct your vision. It allows you to participate in the family, in society. Every member of our board of directors, a volunteer board, except for one, actually is a patient or has a relative who's been helped by the center. So we really understand the mission and we support it.
That's great to have people on the board who know exactly what they're talking about and the kind of services that have changed your life, essentially. So I understand also you'll be at the KOB Eyewitness News Health Fair. That's exciting.
Oh, yes.
What can the community expect to see?
Well, we're going to have a few of our clinicians there with us, so if you have questions, you can always come in and get any answers. We'll be handing out information. We usually go to health fairs and we go out into the community and provide information on the prevention, detection, and treatment for hearing loss. And we'll have all of that stuff there. We're going to have one of our speech language pathologists there. So bring your little ones, because let me tell you, they'll love talking to them and seeing if they're on track.
That's great, and that's in booth number 613.
Yes.
So what about your fundraising efforts? Tell us about any activity there.
Well, usually we end up putting in for grants. We get some funding from United Way. They help with one of our programs. It's a hearing aid bank program. But the funding's getting smaller and smaller every year. So mostly, again, what we do is we'll put on fundraising events. We have a couple planned for later on in the year. You want to tell them about that?
Well, we're going to have a wine tasting in June, and then we're going to have a reception, an open area, an event in the fall, in September. And we're hoping that that will also raise some money. We probably treat more Medicaid patients than anybody else, because it actually costs us money.
Right.
When we treat a Medicaid patient, when we fit a hearing aid to a Medicaid patient. And it's so important that those folks not be left out.
Thank you so much for both of you for being with us today. I really appreciate your time. And if
Thank
you'd
you.
like more information, you can contact the Albuquerque Speech, Language, and Hearing Center at 247-4224. They're located at 9500 Montgomery Northeast. That's in Suite 2.